Record and the timer. Okay, hi folks. Thanks for streaming. This 17th episode of Yumio to Ohanashi features a writer of romance and domestic suspense, Kairn Savage from Canada. Thanks for joining here, Karen. So can you briefly introduce yourself?
Well, hello there. Thank you so much for hosting me.
Thank you.
Yes, my name is Kairn Savage, and I'm a writer in Vancouver. Very happy to be with you today.
And thank you so much for waking up early in the morning because today is actually Sunday morning, 9 a.m.
No problem.
I see. So how's Vancouver? Is it kind of cold?
That we had a little snow yesterday,
Oh, really?
but we didn't get any here in town, so it's a little chilly.
I see, a little chilly. Hope you don't get cold. Okay. So first of all, can you share your latest accomplishment or your temporary goal that you would like to reach?
Yes. So my current goal is to finish editing my second novel. It's called The Service, and it's about a matchmaker who uses spy techniques for her setups. I've been working with an editor on this one.
Editor for how long? Do you think when you're gonna finish it?
So I'm hoping to finish in the new year.
A new year, I see. And it's gonna be released to Amazon Kindle or?
No, I'm hoping to publish traditionally. So I'll be looking for an agent.
I see. Good luck on you that. And when did you discover the joy of writing?
So actually, it was during the most recent pandemic lockdown. I was alone at home for days on end, as a lot of people were, I think. And I decided that I was going to finally write that novel that I'd always been thinking about. So, yes, I just started to write it. And then now I've completed 2 novels and I have started a 3rd novel.
I see. Yes, so that is pretty much a great accomplishment because I decided to want to be a screenwriter. It's because of the pandemic too, because we kind of locked down and we kind of do remote work, but then we kind of wanted to find something different. And then I watched Cobra Kai, and the Cobra Kai shocked me, and then I wanted to write about the characters and stories. So that was kind of what we call inciting incident in screenplay.
That was a great show. I really enjoyed it.
Yes, it is. Even though it's kind of too soap operatic, but yeah, I enjoyed all seasons so far. Yes, and I like Dimitri and the Hawkeye, Dimitri, and I forgot the other guy's name, but yeah. Okay, so what was your very first story that you completed in the past, and do you think you can publicly share that one?
Oh, absolutely. Well, my first novel, the one that I wrote during the lockdown, was about a time-traveling rock star who steals a modern hit song to try to get famous. So I have shelved that one for now. I've been focusing, like I said, on my second book, but eventually I'd love to publish that one as well, if possible.
Oh, so did you get any influence from those Japanese recent anime, such as the character dies but reincarnated to the past, and like that one? Do you know those kind of genre?
No, I haven't heard of that. I would be interested if you could send me the titles.
Yes, we call those tensei. Tensei means reincarnate, and that's kind of becoming a big hit in Japan right now. Like protagonists die in the real world, but then reincarnated in the medieval world, and they become very strong. So,
oh, sounds interesting.
I see. And so do you read more or write more?
I'd say I probably read more. I pretty much constantly have a book with me. My childhood name was Librarian Girl for a reason. So I can go from 0 to 60 with a book. I just kind of pull them out whenever I can.
So I see. So you cannot count how many books you've already read. So you have way too
right.
many.
Well, and I tend to read more than one book at a time. So I like to have at least 2 fiction and 1 nonfiction going.
I see. So do you read fast? Such as when I read a Japanese novel, I read 1 book in just 2 hours.
Oh, wow. That's impressive. I don't read that fast.
I see. And what is your most favorite genre of the novels? Like a comedy, horror?
I would say I I probably love a good thriller. I probably, when it comes to fiction, I probably read more of that. But I tend to go through phases. I also love romance. I mean, I'm writing romance, so.
I see. How about when is your best time to write?
Definitely first thing in the morning. It's when I have most ideas, the most energy. I sometimes will fall asleep thinking about a plot problem and wake up with the solution.
I see. Because some writers prefer writing at night, and since their morning hours are kind of too busy and for the full-time work. So yes, that's what I'm also good at writing in the afternoon too. At nighttime, my concentration goes down. So how do you brainstorm when composing new scenes, dialogues, conflicts, and so on?
So for me, brainstorming, there's more than one way to do it. I often will picture a scene kind of like a movie in my head before I write it. I definitely like talking through plot issues and dialogue and characters with people. I'm a talk it through kind of gal. And I also like to talk through the dialogue myself. I play both parts. Usually when I'm out for a walk, I think my neighbors probably think I'm a little crazy because I'm talking to myself.
Every writer experienced that one. And especially, I often prefer composing female characters. So that's why in Japanese novel, I have to come up with those female dialogues inside my head, but I don't say that one in public. So
fair enough.
And then goes to the next question is, are you a pantser, plotter, or prancer?
So I definitely started as a pantser. My first novel I just wrote. I didn't plan it at all. I've turned into more of a plantser. So I do sketch out rough ideas of scenes, and I talk through my plots a lot more than I used to.
I see. I kind of taking the approach of what Stephen King often say, like he come up with the first 3 page and the last 3 page, so beginning and ending, and then he kind of run his those typing or pen and see how the story goes. So.
Yeah, I love that inspiration when you're in the middle of a scene and you're not sure. You think it might go one way, but then you realize when you put yourself in the shoes of the character, no, she wouldn't do that. She'd do this. And it can take you in a new, exciting direction sometimes.
Yes, and often those things come up in the when you were doing some kind of daily chores or like a shopping or talking to other people. So everything can be inspirational, I think.
Absolutely, I agree. I have little sticky notes with me at all times of like reminding myself, oh, she wouldn't do that. Or, remember the dust, things like that make no sense to anybody else.
Yes, and I carry those small notebook with me when I'm walking out. Yes, traditional pen and pencil.
Yeah, I definitely do.
And the next question is kind of a writer's favorite because most writers pick this question. When composing an action sequence, do you first image it in your brain to visualize or toss words randomly on a blank page and start writing? Or do you have your own ways to compose the sequence?
So I definitely imagine the scene first as if it's like a video in my head. And sometimes I'll put myself in the scene, imagining that the character is talking to me. And what would I do in this circumstance? Sometimes if it's a physical scene and I'm not sure if it will work physically, I'll actually act it out. For instance, I had one scene in one of my books where a character had to lie sideways on in a vehicle. And I just actually went into the car with my husband in the back seat and was like, okay, if I lie sideways, can you curl over me? And anyway, yeah, it was kind of funny.
I see. And how about those characters and dialogues? How do you compose characters and dialogues?
So definitely for inspiration, I use a lot of news articles. I observe people a lot. And I use some of my own experiences and some like snippets of people that I've known or things that people have said to me.
So dialogue must be more organic and realistic.
Yeah, I try. Obviously, I think all writers try to make it as realistic as possible.
So, for instance, did you experience any kind of a customer service work? Because I experienced those customer service work in the past, so that's why I kind of come up with dialogue pretty easily.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, no, I was definitely in the customer service industry. I worked my way through university with plenty of jobs, and a lot of them were as a waitress. So.
I see. And I think those interacting with customers or going to school and knowing the different type of people is very important in writing stories, I think.
Oh, I completely agree. I think we have to be students of human nature and good observers in order to be good writers.
Yes, when I started challenging screenwriting contests, the first rejections I got was the dialogue sounds too thick on the nose. On the nose. Dialogue
Yeah,
sounds
that's
too
really
strange.
hard to do. It's such a skill. I really admire screenwriters who are able to come up with natural dialogue.
Yes, we have to ignore grammar actually, so that's very difficult thing.
I'm sure. Well, are you writing in your first language or are you writing in
In
English?
English.
Oh, wow, that's even harder. I can't imagine trying to write in a second language. That would be really tough.
I see, thank you. And what are your hobbies other than reading and writing?
So I love to bake. I love to cook. I'm a foodie. I love going out for meals. I'm also a card maker. It's one of my ways of
Card
showing
maker.
people love. So yeah, I make greeting cards.
I see. So do you think do you experience those busy in the holiday season?
So what I do is something called Christmas in July. So during the month of July, I make all of my Christmas cards so that they're all ready to go when it comes to December.
Yes, in Japan nowadays, not so many people do, but every beginning of the year, we send those greeting cards to those relatives and friends. That's what we call nengajo, and that's the kind of tradition that we all had. Then
Oh,
we have
I
to,
love that idea.
yeah, then we have to compose those nengajo by the end of the year, and we rush to those the post office, and the post office becomes so crowded so every December.
I think that's the same. I lived in France for a while,
France,
and in France, they definitely greeting people with a card for the new year and wishing people luck is very important there. So
and handwritten, not those electronic thing, I think.
exactly, yeah, personal greeting.
I see. So let's wrap up. Any message to those watching this interview?
Oh, well, I hope that some of this has been interesting, and I really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you. Thank
No
you
problem.
so
Thank
much
you.
for welcoming me.
And finally, what is the most encouraging phrase that you recite when you want to pump up your motivation or crawl out from rock bottom?
So, personally, when I'm feeling stressed or overwhelmed, there's a quote that I really love. It's from Arthur Ashe, and it goes like this: Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can.
I see. Interesting. Yes, the many authors try to bring those quotes that I have never heard of, and that's pretty informative to me, too, encouraging to me.
I love quotes.
Yes, a quote is always great, and the very famous Hemingway one. The first draft is always S.
That's so true.
Okay, so thank you very much, Karen. So, folks, if you're interested in Karen, follow her account at SAVAGEKAIRN. Truly appreciate your participation in this segment, Karen. So, wish you great success, and we'll keep in touch.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.